Declan Rice with that wonderful goal as Arsenal defeated Newcastle. I'm sure Mary will be happy. I'll have her thoughts a little bit later. But good morning and welcome to the beautiful game. Of course, quite a lot went down with games across the weekend in the Premier League. Started on Friday. Now, these matches were quite the matches when it comes to what happened and all of that, okay? Let's see. Let's start with, let's start with Aston Villa, who were up against Spurs. I remember, and I've spoken quite a few days back, even weeks, that for Chelsea or for Spurs and Manchester United, that they would probably lose every game up until they play that Europa League final, which is, of course, going to be on Wednesday. Well, as you can see here, they were up against Aston Villa and Chelsea, respectively, and they lost. It seemed as though Manchester United were going to give Chelsea a run for their money. Harry Maguire scored a goal earlier on, which was disallowed after a VAR check, but Chelsea came up trumps. Aston Villa also came up trumps. Both teams need the points as much as they can to qualify into the Champions League, and it's getting set to go into the final day. We'll talk about how all of the table looks like, but on Sunday, Everton defeated Southampton 2-0. West Ham, of course, lost at home to Nottingham Forest. Quite an interesting match with 16 minutes of extra time, 1-2. Brentford, they lost at home to Fulham, 2-3. And then Leicester, it was quite a dramatic game with Jamie Vardy making his 500th and final appearance for Leicester City up against Ipswich Town, who have both been relegated. He scored his 200th goal. There was a banner calling him the GOAT and appreciating his input into the club all the time that he stayed with them. I mean, from the highs of a Premier League title down into the championship and coming back up, Jamie Vardy has been the epitome of what a leader, a loyal and faithful player and servant of the club. So there, big kudos to Jamie Vardy. We'll get to see what he has next on the line. But Arsenal versus Newcastle is the one that a number of people will be interested about. Arsenal, of course, used this match to solidify their place on the table in second position. So Champions League football is now sure for Arsenal, but Newcastle still have a lot to fight for. Mary, was this result in doubt for you? Did you think that Arsenal were going to defeat Newcastle in that particular game at the Emirates Stadium?
It was a game that, for many, wasn't as impressive as would have been expected. Being that at the start of the match, it seemed like the boys were a bit slow.
Oh, yeah.
You could see the tiredness. Yes, the season is coming to an end after all. You could see the exhaustion also. Raya made some mistakes, which thankfully didn't convert to goals. I mean, within the first 10 minutes, Newcastle already had 3 shots. And, well, of course, some he managed to save. And at the end of the day, we're just grateful that it ended well. But let's also mention the fact that many of the matches played over the weekend were also game changers, definers as well. As it is with Chelsea's win, it has put Newcastle on their toes regarding the results of the match, because Newcastle would have been a bit stronger even with 1 point, because that would have put them at 67 points on the third place. But then, of course, that would have worked well for Arsenal. The match between Arsenal and Newcastle is one that was filled with quite a number of highs and lows. And there were also moments when you would just think that, oh, Newcastle is going to score this goal, and then somehow. And Arsenal also missed some chances. The highlight, though, for many fans was when Kieran Tierney came on the pitch. And in fact, there were lots of cheers for him. It's sad to see him go. He's loved, however, he's injury prone. So
spoke about the points.
Arteta has to let him go.
You spoke about the points differential while you were talking about that particular match. And let's take a look at the table here. As we can see, Liverpool, of course,
Mike, before we even focus on the table, I'm still, last week, Monday, you recall we were talking about the whole Europa League and how Man U and Hotspurs are seemingly going to get a chance to go to the Champions League, right? It's even more disgraceful that if it weren't because the bottom 3 were really terrible this season, these guys are literally bottom 5.
They are.
Tottenham Hotspurs is 4th to the bottom. Man U, 5th to the bottom. It's disgraceful.
Well, talking about that, let's probably start with what Mary is just talking about there. Leicester, Ipswich and Southampton have been so bad, 25 points. That's the top team that is to be relegated. Tottenham Hotspur with 38, Manchester United with 39. And look at it. Look at the matches that they have lost in this season. I mean, it's appalling to say the least. Manchester United have lost 18 matches and these guys have lost 21. Where and how do you start talking about something like this? Yes,
they have a chance through Europa League.
I can't even believe, like Manchester United, 18 losses. Look at Tottenham Hotspur, 21. It'll be shocking. Like I say, even as much as I expect that Wednesday's match is going to be quite an interesting one, I would still Christian it El Clownico, because you can't have the 16th and 17th place teams on the table. Just talking about Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur fighting for a place in the Champions League when a whole lot of other teams from 15th to 8th position will not be there. So, well, that's that for that. And like we said, let's take a look at the top of the table.
Okay.
And this is where there's going to be quite a battle. Arsenal, Newcastle, 66 points. Chelsea, 66 points. Aston Villa, 66 points. Now, Manchester City are 65, but they do have one match in hand above all these other teams, 36. Nottingham Forest, 37. Now, this is where it gets quite interesting, yeah? Final match day of the season will have Nottingham Forest against Chelsea.
Yeah.
The winner of this match will go straight into the Champions League.
Yes.
If there's a draw, it might be a problem depending on how the other results go. But that is a match a number of people will be looking at, talking about the final. Now, Aston Villa, one of them, who's going to play? Who's going to play Man U? One of them are going to play Man U. No, I can't get that down, but on subsequent episodes of The Beautiful Game,
but
we'll talk about it.
A quick plot twist, Mike. The fact that if Man City win these 2 games left, they will tie with Arsenal at 71 points. If they win, though, of course, Arsenal will still be number 2 because of the goal difference. Exactly.
That's
crazy. It's crazy.
They still have one more point, but I think Arsenal has solidified second position well. But hey, come on, that's it. Thank you very much, Mary. That's it on The Beautiful Game for this Monday morning. We'll take a time out now. Stay with us. There's still more to come on the show.